Melissa Thomas here for Florida National News. Finally wrapped up at the end of the 59th Daytona 500, and what a race it was today. There were plenty of crashes to be spoken of. The first one began with something as simple as a flat tire, but as we all know, running at upwards of close to 200 miles an hour, any little deviation can cause a potential disaster. Several of the wrecks, however, were caused by the racers' aggressive attempts to take the lead or to edge others out of the way. Unfortunately, a lot of our key drivers came out of the race. Danica Patrick came out. Chase Elliott. He got knocked out of the race as well. And Dale Earnhardt Jr., who recently came back. He was unfortunately knocked out due to the wreck. But our winner tonight was Kurt Busch.
And here we are in victory lane together after such a difficult race. The more unpredictability that keeps getting thrown into the Daytona 500, now you just predict unpredictability. And with the segments today, that threw in another wrench with guys on old tires, guys on new tires. A lot of veterans were taken out. And then there was the lap 80 wreck when it seemed like that should have been the time where we all settled in as a group that knows how to race at Daytona, and that's when we had the most wrecks. And so I was thankful that I got through a lot of the wrecks with minimal damage, and Gibson managed the 5-minute clock. I mean, here we are. We're minutes away from not being able to repair the car and having a clock tell us that we can't compete anymore. And so we were that close to being eliminated. And there's just so many new things within this sport. You just keep rolling with it.
Well, if I knew all I had to do was retire to get it done, I would have retired a long time ago. It's couldn't be more proud to be up here with these three guys. I mean, to go back to when we joined with Gene and his group and made it Stewart-Haas Racing, and bringing Tony Gibson and his crew in here, and then hiring Kurt. It's really neat to see how this has all gelled and come about, and just really my hats off and biggest thanks to everybody at Stewart-Haas Racing, because
Daytona is always about survival. As I gave Tony Gibson a high five before we started the race, I said it's 90% protect the car, 10% go for aggression, race hard, and execute at the end. I'm thankful enough that we didn't have too much damage. The nose was clean and the tail was clean. And yeah, the sides were a bit wrinkled up, and you just kind of let the rough edges drag. You go for it. I mean, there's things that everybody has to go through to win this race, and usually there's not a perfect car anymore. And so I've just let the care go to the side when it comes to trying to protect the car, making sure it doesn't have too much damage, because you always want a perfect car to have the most speed at the end, and that's not the case anymore.
Thanks. Right here, Melissa Thomas of Florida National News. Congratulations again to the team. Aside from tonight's wins, I know it's kind of a first for everyone, what was your most meaningful victory from previously? Like, each of you can answer that. Your most meaningful race.
I mean, he's won the Daytona 500 before. This is one of the biggest ones that there is.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better than this. I've been fortunate enough to win it before, but to win it with this guy beside me right here, and Gene and Tony Stewart, Smoke, and those guys support us, and it's just a different feel. It's in today's times, to win is so competitive and so hard to win. Each time you win, it means more, because it's harder and harder to win each time. So, and you're only as good as your last win. So, this means more to me than anything I've ever done. I mean, I won the championship with Alan Kulwicki in '92. That was a big story, but this right here is huge.
This moment and this feeling of giddiness and just a surprise feeling, it reminds me of my first win at Bristol in my second year of racing. It takes you all the way back. You feel like a kid again when you get to Daytona's victory lane.
Well, I'll have to defer, but I'd say probably the greatest victory was when we won 2011 and Tony won at Homestead, and that was winning the championship. And he went to the back, I don't know, twice, and drove to the front, and that race was the best race I can ever remember. And yeah, that's the one I remember the most.
Same way. That's the one that means the most to me. I mean, to battle all the adversity we had to battle to go back and forth, and I think we passed 120 some odd cars for position that day. It's a lot of cars to pass. So, definitely was pretty cool. But I can promise you this, you know, even though I ran here 18 times or well, 17 times and didn't win this race, this is pretty daggone cool to win it as a car owner. So you know, this is pretty special.
Stay tuned for more from us at FloridaNationalNews.com. This is Melissa Thomas.